Well, hey there, everyone. Long time no see. It's probably been, well, quite a while anyway, since last time you saw my mug on this lens. It's actually been a very slow, very boring, and very lazy summer. I actually haven't really gone out and done much in the way of hiking since wrapping up the Bruce Trail in May of this year. But as you can see, I'm in a hotel room, and tomorrow I'm going to be driving up to Tobermory and taking a boat over to Flowerpot Island, where I'll be staying for the next 3 nights. Just because of the distance and just trying to be as relaxing as possible. Drove up to Owen Sound to spend the night. Just go over my pack one more time, relax, gather whatever I need to do, and dispose of whatever I don't really need and throw it in the car before I head up to Tobermory and take the boat out to the island. So, a couple little tidbits of information for anyone that is interested in visiting the island. The island is actually part of Fathom 5 National Park, which more or less is managed by Parks Canada along with the Bruce National Park. So if you want to visit the island overnight, you need to book your campsite through Parks Canada. And in order to be able to stay on the island, regardless of which of the two boat cruises you choose to use to get out to the island, you need to actually show proof of that camping permit. So just like Bruce National Park, you can actually call or email ahead no more than a week in advance and get your permit emailed to you, and then that way you can print it at home and have it in hand for when you actually go to the campsite or when you go to the boat in this case. There's also day access fees, so one more reason to get a Parks Pass or a Discovery Pass. And the return boat trip from Blue Heron Cruises is $65, just to let you know. You can book the cruise online, but it would be best to call in because the services that they have on their website is mainly for the tours that they offer. So there's kind of like a non-stop tour that they have of like the Tobermory and the Bays area, and go around to some of the shipwrecks that they have in the area and to the island, but it's non-stop. You go out, come back after a couple hours, and that's it. There's also a stop at Flowerpot Island where they would drop people off earlier in the day and pick those same people up later in the day, but obviously they have to make sure that they grab everybody on the island that's not meant to spend the night, and there's between 2 and 3 stops for each of the 2 boat cruises. So there's Blue Heron Cruises, and there's one other one out of Tobermory. I'll have all the links available to you in the comments below. As for the island itself, it's very much situated like the Bruce National Park's backcountry campsites. So you actually have a 12 by 12 platform that you are meant to pitch your tent on. So once again, if you have a rodless or a trekking pole designed tent, it's not impossible to use, but definitely any kind of a domed tent that comes with its own poles would be better in this case. The potential of what you could be running into is, at least I can speak from personal experience, that the 2 backcountry campsites in the Bruce National Park, so Stormhaven and High Dump, there were more than enough rocks available to anchor your guy lines so that your tent doesn't collapse. However, as it happened to me, in a rainstorm, that deck gets wet, it gets slippery, and if it's not properly anchored by enough weight or friction with the rock against the deck, in my case the rocks actually slid right across the deck, and my trekking pole came crashing down on me in the middle of a rainstorm. So that was fun. So in this case, I'll actually be taking a a dome tent with me. Since I'm not really hiking or backpacking much, I've taken on some extra weight, both with some like reading material, some extra pieces of equipment, and also I have a 2-person dome tent which weighs more than my 3F UL Lanshan Pro 2, but at least I don't have to worry about the tent falling down on me in the middle of the night. So all that aside, I will switch frames here a little bit and show you the gear that I'll be taking with me. Okay, so here's a broad shot of all the gear that I'll be taking. And like I said, because I'm not hiking, backpacking, I'm actually going to be on the campground or the campsite rather, for 3 nights. It's more, what if there's going to be high winds or rain, or just to give myself some more creature comforts a little bit for being on the island for a few nights. And at the time of my booking, I was actually the only one that was going to be on the island. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Anyways, so left to right, reading material. I have the GDT coming up next year, so I'll be researching that. Some notes, of course, and a book for other leisure. I'm going to start with 1 bottle of water for the time being, but I might pick up another one tomorrow before I head out. Tega -5 Celsius, what they call a barrel style sleeping bag. This is a Wilderness Excursions domed 2-person tent. Actually, both these and the AquaQuest tarp, all of these 3 are made in Canada. A little bit of, I guess the brand name used to be called Slip Grip, or just, it's like a rubberized mesh. I really found this to be handy to keep the sleeping pad from slipping rather on the bottom of the tent. Just helps with sleep really. Arrow's pillow, and something that I want to try doing some testing on depending on the weather is a 21 watt Big Blue solar charger, and I'll have a little bit more about that later on in this video. I have my Sea to Summit titanium spoon, a Garmin InReach Mini, just in case, because I'm not too sure about cell reception. I have all filming being done on a DJI Osmo Action camera. So this is a spare battery, a Sail branded headlamp, and just because of all the devices that I have, I'm actually bringing more than I need in terms of battery backup. So I have a 20,000 milliamp anchor and 2 10,000 milliamp hour battery backups here. So lots to go, and I don't think I have to tell you what that is. And moving along, we have a Sea to Summit cup. My BRS, I'm not sure about the number. I think it's like 25,000. I have no idea why they have that number. Anyways, very low weight backpacking stove. Love this thing. A fire strike, some emergency matches, fuel, titanium pot, buck knife, Sawyer squeeze. So along with the 1 bottle of water, I'll have lots of access to water, so I'm not too worried about access. It's just a matter of filtering. The water has been excellent when I was doing the Bruce Trail up along the east coast of the peninsula. I'm not too sure how well it is in the middle of the lake, but we'll see. Toiletries, Mac backpacking cover in case it rains, other toiletries, first aid kit, some line to help with the setup of the tarp. This is also by Tega. This is my my raincoat, very lightweight. Actually, you can see I can actually compress this a little bit more just to give you an idea. So very lightweight. Love this thing. Stuffable pillow sack, quick drying towel from Mac. This green bag here is from Adotech, or Advanced Outdoor Equipment. That's also a Canadian manufacturer. It is basically a hanging or a hangable bag. There's no bears on the island, but it's just really convenient to cinch up everything I have in terms of edible goodies, and just keep that into a bag that's more easily packed. And we have my clothes. We have a do-rag as well as a buff, some gloves from Under Armour, a mech mid-layer sweater with hood just in case, and of course my hat for exploring the island. And just another shot. And of course, all of that is going to go into my Granite Gear 60 liter Crown 2, which is a drop edition. So I know they have come out with a newer sets or newer versions of that backpack, but I think they're basically the same. Just don't tell them I said that. And that is it from a gear perspective, as well as 2 tripods that are not currently in the picture. And again, all links for the gear that I'll be taking will be in the comments section. So that's really it for the intro to this trip. I'll be kind of taking you through Tobermory a little bit tomorrow. The boat doesn't depart until a little after 2 in the afternoon, so lots of time to explore a little bit. The drive up from Owen Sound to Tobermory is about an hour and 20 minutes, give or take. So again, I'm just going to check out, grab something to eat for breakfast, and take my time going up to Tobermory, park the car, get my tickets, and do a little exploring. And I'll take you with me. So until then, have a good night. Hope to see you out on the trail or possibly on an island somewhere, and we'll see you then. Good night.